MSN, or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have two ears and one mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is at Power 106.
All mankind is of one author and is one volume. When one man dies, one chapter is not torn out of the book, but translated into a better language. And every chapter must be so translated, as therefore the bell that rings to a sermon calls not upon the preacher only, but upon the congregation to come. So this bell calls us all, but how much more me, who am brought so near to the door by this sickness? No man is an island entire of itself. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee.
No man is an island. No man stands alone. Each man has a brother. Remember, each man's dream has your own. Now we need one another. Yes. Each man has a brother, and each man has a friend. You can't live in this world all by yourself. No, 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 you can't make it alone. And just as sure as you try to make it by yourself, you're gonna wake up and find you're gonna need somebody else. No man is an island. Oh, yeah. No man stands alone. Each man has a brother. Remember, each man's dream has your own. Whoa. You can live in this world all by yourself. No, 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 you can't make it alone. And just as sure as you try to make it by yourself, you're gonna wake up and find you're gonna need somebody else. No man is an island. No, no man stands alone. Each man has a brother. Remember, each man's dream has your own. No me.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 30th day of the 8th month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Put another way, it's the 30th and penultimate day of the third month of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season, and the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, at 2 o'clock this afternoon Eastern Daytime, 1 p.m. Jamaica time, issuing advisories on Tropical Storm Ida, located inland over western Mississippi, and on recently upgraded Tropical Storm Kate, located over the central tropical Atlantic. Satellite derived wind data and satellite imagery indicate that an area of low pressure has formed over the far eastern tropical Atlantic in association with a tropical wave that recently moved off the west coast of Africa. Environmental conditions are conducive for development, and a tropical depression is likely to form within the next couple of days, while the system moves west northwestward at 10 to 15 miles per hour over the eastern tropical Atlantic. And then there's a broad area of low pressure that is expected to form in the southern Caribbean Sea by midweek. That would be around Wednesday ish, tomorrow into Wednesday. Environmental conditions appear to be favorable for some slow development by the end of this week, as long as the system remains over water. The system is expected to move gradually west northwestward or northwestward at 5 to 10 miles per hour over the western Caribbean Sea near the east coast of Central America. Closer to home, there's a trough across Jamaica. The trough is expected to linger across the island for the next few days. Look for isolated showers and thunderstorms across western parishes and hilly areas this afternoon. Tonight will become fair, and there's also tropical depression 10, which is located across the North Atlantic, and as we said, a tropical wave across the far eastern tropical Atlantic, and that has a high chance of tropical cyclone development. In other words, a high chance of becoming a storm somewhere down the road there over the next 5 days, to be more precise. And then right. So let's keep our eyes wide open. Let's not drop our guard, notwithstanding those of us who have been soaked by Ida's rains and the rains before from Grace, etc. In the United States, the month of August is being observed as Children's Eye Health and Safety Month, Gastroparesis Awareness Month, National Breastfeeding Month, National Immunization Awareness Month, Psoriasis Action Month, and Summer Sun Safety Month. C'est à vous on Haiti, Children's Day in Afghanistan, and let us keep in our thoughts and prayers the children of Afghanistan on this Children's Day. The country is going through transition right now. Constitution Day in East Timor, Kazakhstan, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. The Feast of St. Rose of Lima, Rose Festival, is on in St. Lucia and Peru, and Victory Day in the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus and Turkey. Hoy es lunes, el 30 de agosto 2021 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. De lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, terminar y aniversarios. Bienvenidos. C'est lundi le 30 août 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutent, que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
Oh, each man has a brother. Remember, each man.
All we're saying is it's Monday, the 30th and penultimate day of the 8th month of 2021. On this day when the people of Louisiana and elsewhere in the United States are trying to pick up the pieces. Sadly, one person has died and about 1 million without electricity, and other areas impacted, Mississippi and Alabama. Dangerous storm surge in the inundation expected to continue throughout this afternoon. We'll say more about that a little later. And it's the day after news came that one of the real pioneers of Jamaican music, he's like the scientist of Jamaican music. And we know we know that quirk of scientists, right? It's not right. It's not easily understandable, but they do great work, remarkable work, and they're seeing things that we are not seeing. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. The following is a public service announcement from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The Ministry of Health and Wellness invites members of the public to attend a vaccination site between Monday, August 30 and Tuesday, August 31. Please visit vaccination.moh.gov.jm or social media for details on location, opening hours, and vaccine type. Monday, August 30, Kingston and St. Andrew National Arena, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Manchester, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Manchester High School, Porus High School, and Mandeville Regional Hospital. St. Elizabeth, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Santa Cruz Health Center, Newell Health Center, Junction Health Center, and Black River Health Center. Clarendon, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Summerfield Community Center and Denby Primary School. Tuesday, August 31, Kingston and St. Andrew National Arena, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Manchester, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Manchester High School, Christiana Health Center, Mile Gully Health Center, and Mandeville Regional Hospital. St. Elizabeth, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Santa Cruz Health Center, Great Bay Town Square Cultural Center, Treasure Beach, Junction Health Center, and Black River Health Center. Clarendon, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Lionel Town Health Center, Summerfield Community Center, and Denby Primary School. Persons should take their school ID, child's birth certificate, a government identification, or a letter from a justice of the peace to the sites. Let's get vaccinated and get back to life.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. This Wednesday, September 1, we continue the conversation with Tanisha Miller of the Early Childhood Commission on child abuse and methods of disciplining children. Also learn more on how to keep your mind fit and tune in for discussions with the National Council on Drug Abuse about the effects of cannabis on young people. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century, National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living, Vico Zinc Plus Syrup, distributed by Medical Disposables and Supplies, available in pharmacies island-wide, Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water, Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town, Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor, and Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, September 1 at 8 p.m., only on Power 106 FM.
Wake up and find you're gonna need somebody else. No,
It is indeed Monday, the 30th and penultimate day of August 2021, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices, and that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
no, you can't make it too low.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you would have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free. Listening is free whenever, wherever. There are two designated numbers for listeners and potential listeners across the world. And those numbers are shared between the USA and the UK. Those in the United States who would like to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. And if you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953. 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, there's always YouTube. All you need is a device, internet connection, and open a browser like Google Chrome, for example, and type YouTube, and the YouTube website will come up. If you do that now, you should see this video trending. If you're not seeing it, then in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to watch both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. What's on your mind this afternoon? We're always happy to hear from you. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, and you can call us directly on WhatsApp. In fact, there are those who treat that particular number like a straight line to our side of the glass inside the studios of Power 106 FM. And that number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. We thank those of you who are already on board, like Jennifer Stewart. Good afternoon to you, Jennifer Stewart. Now, we did promise to share with you a bit on Lee Scratch Perry, for those who are unfamiliar, and even for those of us who thought we knew everything. Let's give a listen to this recording, which essentially gave him that name Scratch. There's a recording we're about to play, which is called Chicken Scratch, and that became one of his stage names as well, Chicken Scratch. And then there was Upsetter as well, and after a while they dropped the chicken and just called him Scratch, hence Lee Scratch Perry. Let's give a listen.
Hello, guy in dirt black and too tight. Why you looking so sad? Tell me why. Grab a skirt, come on, let's chicken scratch. All night long, standing there, looking sad. Grab a skirt, jump around like you mad. Oh, mom and dad, kitchen cat, guys on down. Young and old, don't get cold. Chicken scratch. Take your time, make it man. Chicken scratch. Chicken scratch. Young, standing there, looking sad. Got a skirt, jump around like you mad. Oh, mom and dad, kitchen cat, guys on doll. Young and old, don't get cold. Chicken scratch. Take your time, dig it, man. Chicken scratch. Chicken scratch.
For 85 years, Lee Scratch Perry was many things. This is a story from Rolling Stone magazine. Regarded as a raconteur, sonic wizard, rhythmic innovator, talent scout, ladies' man, boaster on the mic, and by most accounts, the greatest record producer in Jamaican history. His discography as producer and guest star includes such titans as Bob Marley and the Wailers, The Clash, Beastie Boys, The Heptones, Junior Biles, The Congos, Max Romeo, and dozens more. But Perry was a recording artist foremost. So, with a couple of crucial exceptions, Rolling Stone magazine has concentrated on the work he released under his own name or interchangeably that of Upsetters. It's just the tip of a steep mountain, says Rolling Stone magazine. Perry had made hits before 1968. The first was Chicken Scratch, 1965, which gave him his nickname. But the first record he made after leaving the amalgamated label run by Joe Gibbs was also a public jab at his former employer. Now that you reach the top, now you turn big shot. All I've done for you, you know, remember that? The band he dubbed the Upsetters. Glenn Adams on organ, Alva Lewis on guitar, Aston Family Man Barrett on bass, and his brother Carlton on drums were already as versatile and loose as their boss's imagination. And not least, People Funny Boy was also one of the first records to codify the reggae beat. Right, so essentially in Jamaican parlance, People Funny Boy. Yeah, that's the expression. And not least, People Funny Boy. That was also one of the first records to codify the reggae beat, distinct from ska and rocksteady before it. A rhythm felt around the world. The Upsetters made many Booker T and MG's style instrumental singles. The biggest was Return of Django, with its cowboy gait and tumbling horn line, which went top 5 in the UK. This single B-side, which also appeared on the Return of Django album, is the most indelible of the band's reggae soul grooves, with Adams's curling organ line flickering over slipping and sliding bass and drums. Carlton's drums ably complementing the groove, with Val Bennett's sax taking a cool-toned blues solo. And there are people who can relate, I'm sure, and those who can't. Let's leave it there for now as we continue to remember the late, great Lee Scratch Perry, right here on both sides of the story.
Drop a skirt, jump around like you're mine.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Need heavy equipment for rent, such as excavator with bucket and hammer, front end loader, backhoe, roller, crane, forklift, dump trucks, and flatbed trailer? Contact P&D Williams Heavy Equipment Limited. They also sell 6 and 8 inch blocks, colored bricks and pavers, concrete pumps, water and submersible pumps, sandblaster, compressors, scaffolding and props. P&D Williams Heavy Equipment, Savannah District, Hayes, Clarendon. Telephone 876-986-0190 or 835-3636. Avoid the hustle and bustle and choose Health First Pharmacy, Shop 5, 138 Muirhead Avenue, Maypen, and our newest edition, Clark's Professional Pharmacy, open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They offer ARVs, veterinary products, also the PPP program. Health First Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical and surgical items. They accept all major health, credit, and debit cards. Call 876-632-0979, 676-1871, or 455-5162.
Exporters, have you heard? Certificates of origin are now online. Starting August 23, 2021, all exporters requiring a certificate of origin from the Trade Board Limited must submit their application using the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-SWIFT. All locally manufactured goods and agricultural produce for export must have an authorized certificate of origin in order to access and obtain preferred preferential treatment in other territories and markets. Traders, your benefits include greater convenience and faster processing time, online application, payment and approval, online access to the approved certificate of origin, and a system-generated CARICOM invoice. For more details, contact JSwift at info@jswift.gov.jm. Jamaica single window for trade. JSwift, your window to trade.
Imagine styles of tiles for every room. So trendy, sophisticated, stunning, yet cool. Simply unique. Tiles for floors to walls and everything in between. Make your best home anything but ordinary. At home and things.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. This Wednesday, September 1, we continue the conversation with Tanisha Miller of the Early Childhood Commission on child abuse and methods of disciplining children. Also learn more on how to keep your mind fit and tune in for discussions with the National Council on Drug Abuse about the effects of cannabis on young people. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6th West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century, National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living, Bico Zinc Plus Syrup, distributed by Medical Disposables and Supplies, available in pharmacies island-wide, Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water, Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town, Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor, and Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, September 1 at 8 p.m., only on Power 106 FM.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office upstairs, Shop 6, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call instead of turning up. Call and you'll be advised accordingly. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. In a moment, let's say hello, welcome, and good afternoon to our host on Land Solutions this afternoon, attorney at law, Calicia Findley.
Good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, Dervan. Thank you, and thanks as always for tuning in to another edition of Land Solutions. As Dervan just said, I'll be your host for today, Calicia Findley. Feel free to call in with any questions you may have with respect to land and estates, anything to do with the land. As we tell all our clients, when you're coming into us, take everything but the land. So feel free to call in with any questions. Again, the numbers are 876-922-4112 and our text and WhatsApp line 876-881-5254. I'll begin with our WhatsApp line. This is a two-part question. When a sale is finished, how long should it take for a lawyer to give you the money? And if there are two people on the title, can the lawyer just pay one of them? So the first part, when a sale is finished, how long should it take for a lawyer to give you the money? It really shouldn't take long at all. A sale has just concluded. You've sold the property. Your lawyer has now received the funds. The lawyer should pay out to you immediately. So I would say no more than a day or two. Sometimes there may be circumstances which can cause a delay. It happens to me sometimes where a client will say, all right, I know I gave you this banking information, but I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to use another account, or I'm going to open an account. Give me a couple of days and I'll get back to you. But as long as the attorney isn't waiting on the client to provide some information, they really should pay out to them as soon as possible, a day or two. So usually what happens in our practice, once a sale is nearing completion, we reconcile the amount, the accounts, I should say. So as soon as the sale proceeds coming from whether it's the purchaser or the purchaser's loan institution, we know exactly how much is to be paid over to the vendor. Sometimes what can cause delays too is if the attorney is waiting on the proceeds of sales to settle some outstanding some outstanding funds for the seller. So sometimes as an attorney we will pay the outstanding property taxes, the outstanding water rates, you may have to settle other fees, or maybe the vendor owes money to other people. But you really should have an idea of what those outstanding sums are and be ready to settle them as soon as the money comes in. So I'm not certain if you could give me a little more context as to why you're asking this question. Are you actually waiting on your lawyer to pay you after a sale has been completed? But you should get the money as soon as possible. The second part of the question, if there are two people on the title, can the lawyer just pay one of them? The lawyer can only just pay one vendor. So vendor has two persons, meaning the title has two persons. So that means there are two vendors. And because there are two persons, the law says each person should be paid equally. The lawyer can only pay one of them if the other party consents to that. So John and Mary are selling property. The sale is finished. All the money is to go to John. Mary has to consent to that. And in such a case, I require that consent be in writing, and it must be witnessed by a justice of the peace, or if the person is overseas, by a notary public or a Jamaican consular officer. And it doesn't matter. Let's say the property was bought 20 years ago. Mary and John bought it. Mary only put John's name on the title because she just wanted to have someone's name on the title. Property cost $10 million back then. Mary paid the entire $10 million, legal fees, all the government fees. John didn't contribute one red cent. Doesn't matter. The fact that both names are on the title means that both people are entitled to the sale proceeds unless one person agrees in writing that the other one can get everything. If it's a case where there are two people on the title, and it happens, I see it happening especially where one person is overseas. I know it's a case where this happened already. One person is overseas, one in Jamaica, and the attorney in Jamaica had only been dealing with the person in Jamaica, and they took it for granted that all the proceeds should have gone to that person in Jamaica. And you can imagine what happened next. The person overseas found out the sale was finished, called on the attorney and said, hey, the sale is finished. I should be getting my 50%. Where is my 50%? And to cut a long story short, the lawyer had to find money to pay that person their 50% because, of course, having given the entire sale proceeds to that other person was nowhere to be found. So that can mean trouble for an attorney where there are two people on a title and they only pay out to one without the consent of the other. So when a sale is finished, you should get your proceeds as soon as possible. If there are two people on a title, each of them should be paid. If there's going to be any deviation, any change from that, the other person has to consent in writing. Continuing with our messages, and again, our numbers to call in, 876-922-411224, and the text and WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. How long does probate take? Generally, probate, in the past, in the past, probate would take a year to 18 months, but the times have significantly improved. Now I'm getting probates in 6 to 8 months. In fact, there was one recently, I filed the application in the Supreme Court in March, and by June, I received the grant of probate in my hand. So March, that's about 3 months. That was a little quicker than usual, but that's good. But on average, I would say about 6 to 8 months. And usually where you see probate taking long, like a year or over a year, it's because there is something maybe missing from the application. Maybe the court needs more information, or there is an error on a document. In that case, the court is usually waiting on something. So once an attorney files an application for probate, it's processed and the documents are checked. If the court requires anything further, they will send what they call a requisition, which is a document stating this is what further information is needed or this is what is missing. They will email it to the applicant, whether it's the applicant in person or an attorney at law, and they will also send out a copy of the requisition. They will leave it by the window at court. Those of you who are familiar with court will know what I'm talking about. They will leave a physical copy of the requisition by the probate window for you, your attorney, or your attorney's bearer to collect. So that is how the court communicates with you. So if you're not seeing anything, if you filed an application, not seeing, not hearing anything, you can always give court a call or email them, and they will usually provide you with an update. And just to clarify, because I know sometimes we may use terms that are not familiar to most persons. When we refer to the word probate, that is with respect to a will. So when someone makes a will and they die, the application to prove that will, meaning to ensure it is valid, that application is called probate, an application for probate. So probate, again, in a nutshell, is the application to prove a will, and it takes about 6 to 8 months. If you're not hearing anything on your probate application, it means something is wrong. Check the court. If you're not hearing anything from your attorney on any application, you just ask your attorney for the suit number if it's a court document, for the instrument number if you're waiting on title's office. They're obligated to give you that number, and you can do the checks yourself. For those of you who wish to call us in office, that's the law offices of Brown, Finley and Company. Our numbers are 876-908-1950 and 876-908-3518. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
The school year is starting, but not quite how we expected yet. But don't worry, Bashco still has your back for back to school.
Even for online classes, your kids will still need stationary items, and that's where we have you covered.
Books, pens, pencils, erasers, math sets, glue, and more, all to help your kids get through their work.
And for face-to-face classes, remember, we have uniforms, backpacks, lunch bags, and of course, sanitizer, face shields, and masks.
Anyway you take it, we have your back for back to school. At Bashco, at 3 years, giving you more.
Living in the positive.
Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. to midday for your legal corner with Dahlia Walker Huntington during Power Talk on Power 106 FM. You can call our numbers 876-922-41125. The text and WhatsApp line is 876-279-8598. You can also send an email at yourlegalcorner106@gmail.com. Join Your Legal Corner for all matters in relation to immigration to the United States. Here, Dahlia offer great legal advice on your immigration queries and concerns. Learn about the filing process, when to file, and how to prepare for the move. That's Your Legal Corner, 11:30 to midday every Thursday right here on Power 106 FM.
It's young, it's fresh, it's worldviews from a youth perspective. It's Gen Z, navigating the ups and downs of everyday life. Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Power 106 FM.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call and you'll be advised accordingly. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findley.
Thank you, Dervan. Someone wants to know the cost for getting title for an acre of land. And I will respond, and that person can message me further. I will respond specifically the legal fees directly to that person. But I just want to make it clear that in addition to legal fees, they will have the titles office registration fees. Those fees vary depending on the size of the property and the value of the property. They will also have the cost of advertising. If you look in the newspapers, you will see legal notices. Those are usually between $15,000 and $20,000. And there's also the cost of getting the property surveyed. Many people seem to still be surprised that the cost of getting the property surveyed isn't a part of their legal fees. That is a whole separate process. And remember, before we can begin an application for you to apply for your title, you must have your survey diagram. And the cost for the survey will again depend on the value, the location of the property, the accessibility. So bear all of those in mind. So we may quote a particular fee to you, but it never includes the cost of the survey. If you need to get a title, start there. Start with getting in touch with a surveyor, getting the diagram, and finding out how much it will cost. And for those of you who already have your survey diagram, if it is older than 7 years old, you must bring it up to date by getting a surveyor's declaration. And the surveyor's declaration is a simple document from a surveyor. It can be from the same surveyor or any other surveyor, confirming whether the property boundaries are still the same. So yes, if it's over 7 years, you need to bring it up to date. But if it is very old, you're going to need to do a new diagram. So if you come to us with a diagram from 1940, chances are things may have changed. So in a case like that, we would recommend that you get a new diagram. Continuing with our messages.
Before you go to the other messages, Calicia, we have a caller standing by to speak with you.
Thank you, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How may I help?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How may I help? Go ahead. You're live on air.
Okay. I would like to tell you something. I live on a property 38 years. Hear me?
Yes, man, I'm hearing you. Go right
Okay.
ahead. You're loud and clear.
No one at all come to collect any rent or anything at all like that.
Yes. In all the 38 years, has anyone ever collected anything from you?
No.
All right.
And I'd like to get at the property. How do I go about it?
All right. How do you get a title?
Yes.
Just tell me, how did you get to be on the land? Who put you there? Or how did you get there?
Nobody.
You just went there?
Yes.
Have you ever paid the taxes?
No.
Do you know whose name is on the tax roll? Do you know any history about the property?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what you know about it.
Huh?
Tell me a little bit about what you know.
My credit is about to run out. I can't call you.
All right. I'm going to have the producer take your number and I will call you back. But you can continue listening. All right? So this gentleman, he has been on property for 38 years. In all that time, no one has ever come to him to collect any money or has disturbed him. I still need some more information from him, but generally speaking, if he has indeed been there for 38 years, if it is not owned, if the land isn't owned by the government, isn't in the name of the Commission of Lands, Minister of Housing, then he should be able to apply for a title. And I say once it's not owned by the government, because if it's owned by the government, you have to show that you have been on the property, either by yourself or together with other persons over a period of time for at least 60 years. That's 60 years. If it's privately owned property, then he just has to show that he has been there for 12 years. And as he said, he's been there for 38 years. So in that case, he would need to get the property survey. It doesn't seem like he may have ever got the property survey. So if you're still listening, the first thing you need to do is get your property surveyed, contact the surveyor, tell them you want to apply for a title. So you want a diagram, or it's also known as a pre-check plan. And then once you have that diagram, you give us a call, and so we can review the diagram and advise you further from there. Over to our WhatsApp line. Can someone use a survey diagram and an up-to-date tax receipt to apply for a registered title for a piece of family land that is coming down from their great-grandmother? There is no other document. Yes, you can use the diagram and the property tax receipt. Of course, the more documentation you have, the easier it is to prove your ownership. And let me just say, just getting a diagram and having the tax receipt is the beginning. You, of course, have to show that you have some physical connection with the land. So you have to show either that you have been living there, or you've been taking care of it, you've been bushing it, or you perhaps have rented it out to someone and you've been collecting rent over the years. So if you know that your great-grandmother owned this land in 1980, you've never been there, you've never taken care of it, but today in 2021, you decided to start paying the taxes and you commission a survey. You can't just apply for a title since you have no physical connection. So yes, you have to show physical connection with the property. And if you don't have any documents, as long as you can show your physical connection, property taxes are up to date, and you have your survey diagram along with people who can attest to your connection, your ownership, your occupation of the land, then yes, you can apply for a title. How is it possible that an executor can sell a house without the consent of the beneficiaries? How is it possible? Because that's what the law says. Remember, when someone makes a will, the person they name as their executor now stands in their shoes. Of course, that is after the person dies, because if you listen to us frequently, you will know that a will comes into effect only after the person dies. So John makes a will, he dies, he appoints Mary as his executor. Her duties begin as soon as John dies. And the law says the executor steps into your shoes, they now have responsibility to do anything that you would have been able to do. And by doing anything, it means that they can take care of the property, they can call in any money outstanding to the estate, they need to pay off any money that the deceased person may have owed, and they can also sell property. So, yes, the will may very well say, I will all my property to X person, but the executor may not have enough money in the estate to pay the government, to pay lawyers, to settle debts. And once the executor can show that there are no funds, they can go ahead and sell the property without the beneficiary's consent. So even if the beneficiaries disagree, if they are in no position to pay any money for the estate and the executor doesn't have any money otherwise, the executor can go ahead and sell the property. And this is one of the reasons why we urge persons, when they're making their will, to seek legal advice. Because it's one thing to say, I want to leave my house to my child. But will your child, at the end of the day, will your child be able to get the house? What if there's no money to pay the lawyers or to pay the government? Then your objective, your aim would not be achieved, because the house would have to be sold. And then once it's sold, if there are any proceeds left over, then your beneficiary would only be entitled to the proceeds. So, and that's one of the reasons why sometimes we advise people to get life insurance policies, so that there is enough money there to deal with the expenses surrounding the estate. Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-411-224. We will be in the Ocho Rios office this Thursday. I will be there. The numbers to call to make an appointment for the Ocho Rios office at Shop 6 upstairs, Jamaica National Building, 876-974-6083. And to call us at the law offices of Brown, Finley and Company at the Winchester Business Center. Those numbers are 876-908-3518 and 876-908-1950. Again, you may also send us a message on Facebook. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/Land Solutions. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock. Vehicle maintenance is your top priority, so why settle for less? Visit Extender Auto Parts and Service Center, 47 Manchester Avenue, Macon, Clarendon. They promise quality service, and they provide parts for a wide range of vehicles, and if they don't have it, they will source it. Extender Auto Parts provides full service for all vehicles and much more. Opening hours Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 876-986-1687 for more information.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get all the facts. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safer for everybody, from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally when things were more orderly? And if you want to live a long good life, then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated along with the heroes on the front line.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. It's riveting, thought-provoking, and interesting. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Quarry on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Sanjay Lewis on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while they alternate on Fridays, as they set your agenda and break down the issues and keep you informed on what matters to you most. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. only on Power 106 FM.
living in the positive.
Power Talk has been a unique source of discourse on matters of public interest, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk brings you the new hosts who will take talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Croskill from Wednesday to Friday as they provide a riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for brand new features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's Dr. Herbert Gale Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Croskill Wednesday to Friday on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Living in the positive.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, land surveys, willing property, the whole works. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. That's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call ahead instead of turning up. Call and you'll be advised accordingly. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950, 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. Someone just sent an email wanting to know what is the cost to add their name to a title. The legal fees are usually a percentage, and when you're adding your name to a title, it's considered as a transfer of interest. So John is on title, and John is then now transferring his interest to himself and Mary. Usually legal fees are about 3 to 5%, depending on the value of the property, and there's usually a minimum cost. So for us to be able to give you a more accurate breakdown, you would need to do a valuation. And in a case like this, you wouldn't need to do a full valuation report. You would need to do you can just do a valuation letter. It's an opinion letter from a licensed valuer that tells you the market value, which is all we need. One or two page document. You will also have transfer tax. Transfer tax is currently 2% of the value of the property. So in a case like this, where let's say there's one person on a title and the property is valued at 10 million and you want to now add someone else, transfer tax would be 2% of the half value, which would be 2% of $5 million. So that is why we encourage persons to have their valuation letters in hand. Not only does it help us to provide you with a more accurate breakdown of costs, but it can help to speed up the process at the stamp office when we submit the application to them for an assessment. Once you have, once your application document, once the valuation letter accompanies your application document, it goes through the stamp office quicker. And I'm sorry, Dervan, do we have a call?
Not now.
No problem. I thought there was a call. I'll continue. And I put a little caveat on that because In fact, I think there was an article recently. Let me just see if I can find it. As many of you would know, everything, everywhere, in every institution, whether public or private, because of COVID, everything has just grown to a halt. Or if not, if they haven't grown to a halt, they're just extremely slow. So in a case where we are adding someone's name to a title, where we send the transfer documents to the stamp office, something like that would usually take, for us to get the assessment from the stamp office, it would usually take about 2 to 3 weeks. And if we submit the evaluation with it, we could get it back within the same week. Nowadays, it is taking months and months and months to process the simplest of documents. And I'm going to try and find that article. I think it was in the Jamaica Observer. Everybody in the industry is frustrated. Attorneys, the banks, and especially the clients. I mean, I can think of a particular matter right now in my office that I'm handling. It's a sale. And in this case, the stamp office says they wanted to go to the property to do an inspection just to confirm the value of the property. We have been waiting on that assessment, I would say maybe for about 4 months, and we call them every week. The client is in the UK. They are frustrated with us. We are frustrated with the stamp office. But this is just how things are now. I found the article. It came out in the Jamaica Observer, August 24th. It says stamp office logjam frustrates vendors, realtors, lawyers, and investors. Yes, everyone is frustrated. Let me just quote a little bit from the article. It was already a tediously slow process even before the COVID-19 pandemic hit Jamaica. Now potential investors, realtors, lawyers, and regular buyers and sellers of property, or the person merely hoping to inherit property left by a loved one who has passed, are up in arms with the government stamp office. This is so accurate, where even an expected 2-week process to get documents certified is taking up to 5 months or longer. Observer has been told. I had a little sigh of relief when I saw this article, because I was like, okay, it's not me alone. It really is bad out there. They were always slow, and that in and of itself is a shame, since the stamp office is such an important revenue source for the government, said one prominent real estate attorney who wished to remain anonymous. Another attorney said that in a recent instance, documents were held up at the stamp office because the person who was dealing with those documents contracted the coronavirus. Nobody else wanted to handle those documents, so we just had to wait. That actually happened to me once at the titles office. And a stamp office employee confirmed to Observer Online that a pregnant employee recently died from COVID-19, demoralizing staff and adding pressure to an already burdened office. I heard about that. Condolences to her family. Efforts to get a comment from the Commissioner General of Tax Administration, Jamaica, were unsuccessful, as he was said to be out of office until September. Another attorney who spoke with Observer Online explained the frustrations now faced by many lawyers when dealing with the stamp office. And for those of you just tuning in, I'm just quoting from an article in the Observer recently, speaking to the delays being experienced at the stamp office. This particular attorney says any conveyance transaction, any sale of land, the very first thing you have to do is to stamp a document, an agreement for sale. It's the very first step of the transaction. Unfortunately, once we lodge these documents at the stamp office, they're taking several weeks to come back. Normally before COVID, it was frustrating, but it has since gotten worse. What's worse, there is another challenge for lawyers, which has the potential to further slow down the process significantly. If the government believes the price of a property is undervalued, hence cutting into its 2%, which it earns for transfer tax, the state will have its department assess the true value of the property. If it goes to assessment, you're talking months before you get the document, before you get back the document. This is exactly what I was saying in relation to a particular matter of mine. That an assessment needs to be done on the property. So generally speaking, that slows up the process, but now because of COVID, it is just worse. Where a typical transaction, I'm continuing with the article, where a typical transaction takes 90 days, if it goes to assessment, you can even go beyond the 90 days before you get back your agreement for stamping. So think about it this way. You have an agreement for sale. The sale agreement has a timeline of 90 days, meaning that the vendor should have all the money in his or her hand within 90 days. Stamp office is the very first stage of the process. And if just the assessment process alone is taking more than 90 days, that poor vendor is not going to get any money in his or her hand for another maybe 6 to 8 to 9 months, depending on the process at the stamp office. And there's no way to avoid the stamp office. That's the very first step. The government needs its revenue documents have to be submitted there for assessment. So if you are selling property and you are hoping to get your money within 90 days, perhaps you want to buy another property, perhaps you have a debt to settle, perhaps you have some medical expenditure. It's sad to say, but you just have to wait because these are the challenges we are facing now with the stamp office. What I do know, and I know how it is, particularly with overseas clients, they just cannot believe that something is taking so long, and they don't believe us. They think we're lying. Many of my colleagues have this issue, so we have to then give them the instrument number, the case number for the stamp office, and say, here, check it for yourself. We are literally waiting on them. And they call us. First of all, when they try to call the government agencies, they can't get through. And then when they eventually get through and they say, yes, what you're saying is actually true, then that's only how we have a little bit of reprieve. But it really is a challenging time for everyone. So just back to the initial question, I segued a little bit. When you are doing anything at the stamp office, particularly where you're buying or selling property, or you're adding a name, it's good to have the valuation letter or your valuation report accompany your application to the stamp office so that it can speed it up a bit. Continuing with our messages. I bought land 3 years ago and the tax papers are still in the seller's name. How do I update this? This is unfortunate and it happens frequently because really when you buy property and the title is transferred in your name at the National Land Agency, the tax rule should be automatically updated, but it sometimes doesn't happen. You can go to the land valuation department on Arden Road in Kingston. You can show them your title and or your letters of possession. These are letters usually addressed to the titles office or the utility companies confirming that you are the owner. You can show them those documents and have the tax roll updated immediately. Let me just hasten to say though, the fact that your name does not immediately appear on the tax roll does not mean you are not the owner. What counts is that your name would be on the title. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
First thing in the morning, a Nutri Plus. Full belly for me, sing, you know it is a must. Give power to the vibe, you know me happy mass. Nutri Plus, me just went road with the hard taste. Great, so me love it straight. Nutri Plus, and new try one today. Ready for drink out of the box, same way. Good for big people, and it could pick it there. Nutri Plus is a must. And me happy drink. Nutri Plus is a must. No one know other thing. Nutri Plus is a must. It no happy me. Nutri Plus in me pocket are the better thing. Nutri Plus is a must. It's affordable. Nutri Plus.
The following is a public service announcement from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The Ministry of Health and Wellness invites members of the public to attend a vaccination site between Monday, August 30 and Tuesday, August 31. Please visit vaccination.moh.gov.jm or social media for details on location, opening hours, and vaccine type. Monday, August 30, Kingston and St. Andrew National Arena, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Manchester, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Manchester High School, Porus High School, School, and Mandeville Regional Hospital. St. Elizabeth, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Santa Cruz Health Center, Newell Health Center, Junction Health Center, and Black River Health Center. Clarendon, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Summerfield Community Center and Denby Primary School. Tuesday, August 31, Kingston and St. Andrew National Arena, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Manchester, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Manchester High School, Christiana Health Center, Mile Gully Health Center, and Mandeville Regional Hospital. St. Elizabeth, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Santa Cruz Health Center, Great Bay Town Square Cultural Center, Treasure Beach, Junction Health Center, and Black River Health Center. Clarendon, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Lionel Town Health Center, Summerfield Community Center, and Denby Primary School. Persons should take their school ID, child's birth certificate, a government-issued identification, or a letter from a justice of the peace to the sites. Let's get vaccinated and get back to life.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy,
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice, it all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Where you may ask me a question, I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM. It's riveting, thought-provoking, and interesting. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Quarry on Mondays and Tuesdays and Sanjay Lewis on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while they alternate on Fridays as they set your agenda and break down the issues and keep you informed on what matters to you most. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Power Talk has been a unique source of discourse on matters of public interest, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk brings you the new hosts who will take talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Croskill from Wednesday to Friday as they provide a riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for brand new features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's Dr. Herbert Gale Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Croskill Wednesday to Friday on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Living in the positive.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on another edition of Land Solutions during both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. We still have a little more time to take more of your calls, and here's the opportunity before today's edition of the program ends. Those who have been itching to call but not following through, here's your opportunity. If you still have concerns, questions, needing some kind of advice with respect to the sale or purchase of land, here are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions. That number is 876-881-5254. 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call instead of turning up. Call and you'll be advised accordingly. That notwithstanding, you can always meet with a caller, with, I beg your pardon, with a lawyer. All protocols being observed at the Ocho Rios office every Thursday. One of the lawyers will be on duty every Thursday at the Ocho Rios location, upstairs, Shop 6, the Jamaica National Building. The lawyer on duty right now is, of course, attorney at law, Calicia Findlay. And we have a call for you, Calicia.
Thank you, Dervan. Someone just sent a message. I was just about to message you to ask how long a document takes at the stamp office, but I heard what you said about the wait. The wait. I will just continue waiting. Thank you. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss.
Good afternoon. How may I help?
I want to find out if I have where I live.
Yes.
It was surveyed from 2006. Do
Yes.
I have to survey over again?
You said from 2006.
Yeah.
You don't have to survey it over again, but since 7 years have passed, you have to get a declaration from a surveyor. So you can ask the same surveyor or any other surveyor to give you a
Yes.
declaration. And what the declaration is, just a separate document on one piece of paper confirming that the boundaries are still the same.
Yes.
All right? So you don't need to get surveyed again, but you need a declaration. And
Yes.
I'm not sure what may have happened, but as soon as you get the declaration, try and take the next step toward applying for the title. Don't wait too long.
Okay. Thank
All
you
right?
very much. Thank you very much.
Continuing with this, my father died about 6 months ago, and since then his tenant hasn't paid any rent. What can be done? Before I answer that question, let me just say this happens too often. Some tenants are a little unreasonable. They believe that because someone has died, that they should just stop paying the rent. And that is not the case. Once you are still in the property, you are obligated to pay your rent. So for this person whose father recently passed away, have an attorney write the tenant and say, listen, these are your obligations. They still continue. You need to pay rent. If your father left a will, the executor can serve a notice on the tenant for them to leave. Once the notice expires, the executor can file an action in court for recovery of possession. And recovery of possession means they're asking the court to give you an order for them to leave. And that can be done even before you get probate. So that is if your father left a will. The executor can do that. If your father did not leave a will, meaning he died intestate, you're going to have to wait until you have a grant of administration before you can take the tenant to court. So if you made a will, you can have a notice served and then take them to court. But the very first thing you're going to do is have an attorney write them a strong letter saying that they need to pay all outstanding rent and to keep paying it. And if not, legal action will be taken against them. I'm afraid to ask my neighbors to witness my will because I don't want them to know my business. What can I do? When people are witnessing your will, all they are witnessing is your signature. So they do not need to know the contents of your will. You can cover up the page or the pages that have your wishes and just sign in front of their presence. Again, all they are witnessing is your signature. And if they don't want to do it, find other people. I can understand some people's hesitation in being witnesses. Many people believe that once you are witnessing any kind of document, particularly something that may end up in court, that let me just talk specifically via will. Many people believe that because a will is going to be probated, meaning it's going to end up in court for the court to approve it, that they want to know exactly what they are signing to. I can understand that hesitation. But again, you have, as a witness, you have no right to see what is in someone's will. You are just witnessing their signature. So go to an attorney's office, have them review it for you, and the attorney and their staff members, 2 people, can witness a will for you. And remember, for those of you who are doing your will on your own, you must have 2 witnesses. If it's only one person, it's not valid. The 2 witnesses must be over 18. They cannot be beneficiaries, meaning they can't be getting anything under the will, and they cannot be spouses of the beneficiaries. If in doubt, just ask 2 people who are not named in the will at all. And again, if you can't find anyone, have an attorney prepare your will and witness it for you. Let me just see if I can get in another quick message. What if someone doesn't make a will because they have absolutely no one to leave anything to? What happens to their property? The short answer is that the government can claim their estate. If you don't make a will, because let's say you don't have any relatives, no friends, nobody, and you don't make a will, let's say you own a house, you don't make a will, you die, there's nobody there to claim it, the government can claim it. This rarely happens though, because if someone dies without a will, usually there is somebody, even a distant relative, to claim it. But it has happened, and when the government steps in to claim it, we refer to it as, I don't want to get too technical, but we refer to it as bona vacantia. So the government can claim it, but that is all the more reason for you to make a will, to avoid any of that, because I'm sure most people, if not everyone, nobody out there would want their property to go to the government. I suspect we probably all see that the government has enough already. You wouldn't want to know that your hard-earned money, hard-earned assets are going to the government. So if you have no friends or relatives, you can will it to a church, you can will it to a charity, to a school. There must be some person or some organization who you can will it to. So please don't say, I don't have anything, I don't have anybody, so I'm not going to make a will. Like I said, I'm certain you wouldn't want the government to end up with your property. Thanks again for tuning in to another edition of Land Solutions. We will be in the Ocean office this Thursday between 10 and 2. The number to call there, 876-974-6083. For those of you who wish to contact us in office at Brown, Finley and Company, again, the numbers are 876-908-1950, 876-908-3518. You may also email us, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. And you can continue sending your messages to 876-881-5254. Stay safe, everyone. And again, thank you to Adrian and Dervan. Take care.
You contribute directly to Jamaica's national development when you pay your customs duties. Let's all do our part in keeping the wheels of our economy turning. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30. Are you an accomplished professional with senior managerial experience? Optimize your profitability with a high-impact doctoral degree from the University of Sunderland, offered through the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. Practitioners without a master's degree but with significant senior managerial experience can also be considered for direct admission into the professional doctoral degree program. Apply online today at ucc.edu.jm or call us at 876-906-3000. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
Let Clarendon Lube help you protect your investment. They rebuild clutch, gear, brake, speedometer, and winder cables for all automobiles. They also rebuild and replace hydraulic hoses, power steering hoses, power wash hoses, radiator and automobile hoses. Clarendon Lube, 1 Fogo Road, Denby, Maypen, below Denby Showground. Telephone 876-786-1591.
It's riveting, thought-provoking, and interesting. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Quarry on Mondays and Tuesdays and Sanjay Lewis on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while they alternate on Fridays as they set your agenda and break down the issues and keep you informed on what matters to you most. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays 7:15 to 9 a.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. This Wednesday, September 1, we continue the conversation with Tanisha Miller of the Early Childhood Commission on child abuse and methods of disciplining children. Also learn more on how to keep your mind fit and tune in for discussions with the National Council on Drug Abuse about the effects of cannabis on young people. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century, National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living, Bico Zinc Plus Syrup, distributed by Medical Disposables and Supplies, available in pharmacies island-wide, Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water, Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town, Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor, and Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, September 1 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
No man is an island. No man stands alone. With each man as a brother. And remember, each man's dream as your own. Now we need one another. Oh yes. And we ought to try to be friends. Each man has a brother, and each man has a friend. You can live in this world all by yourself. No, you can't make it alone. And just as sure as you try to make it by yourself, you're gonna wake up and find you're gonna need somebody else. No man is an island. Oh yes. No man stands alone. Each man has a brother. And remember, each man's dream has your own. You can live in this world all by yourself. No, you can't make it alone. And just as sure as you try to make it by yourself, you're gonna wake up and find you're gonna need somebody else. No man is an island. No man stands alone. Each man has a brother. And remember, each man's dream has your own. No man is an island. Girl, I said I know.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, and indeed you can call us via WhatsApp. That number is 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. How are things with you and yours? Or as the late, great Charles Hyatt used to ask, where are you and how are you? Where are you and how are you? How are things where you are? What have you been up to during this lockdown period? How have you been managing? What are your impressions of what you've been seeing, hearing, and experiencing in your area? And any other information you wish to share? Maybe there's a point of contention, concern, interest, criticism, or suggestion, recommendation, whatever is on your mind. Here are the numbers to call once again, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Let's clear some messages. Hello to Jennifer Stewart from Q Road in Kencott, East Central St. Andrew. She says, good afternoon, Dervan, and everyone listening. Stay safe. To you too, Jennifer. Audrey Smith in Southampton, England says, good afternoon, Dervan, and listeners everywhere. Can't tell you how much I appreciated all the oxygen you received today. So pleased for everyone out there. God bless everyone. Take care and stay safe. And you do the same, Audrey Smith in Southampton in England. Violet White, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. All the best. Beverly in Toronto, Canada. Good afternoon. Violet is greeting everyone. Good afternoon, she says. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I lost my sister Saturday morning. So sorry to hear that, Velta Wilson. Our sincerest condolences to you and your family in this time of bereavement. Velta Wilson goes on to say, her sister died without even a goodbye. It's so sad how fast souls are passing away all over the world. Stay safe, everyone, and follow the protocols. COVID is not a joke, concludes Velta Wilson. Again, condolences, Velta Wilson. We're so sorry to hear of your loss. And Violet White conveys similar sentiments of condolences to Velta Wilson and her family. And she replies in kind. Faye Weller, good afternoon. Thank you very much for tuning in. All the best to you. Norman Hines is also tuned in. Welcome, Norman Hines. It's good to have you on board. All the very best. Jessica says, good day, Mr. Malcolm. I'm tuned in. Have a blessed day. Thank you very much, Jessica. Same to you. Elise Dugan is in London, Canada. Good to hear from you, Elise Dugan in London, Canada. And Patrice Barnes says, hi. Hello, Patrice Barnes. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Here are some YouTube messages. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. To you too, Cherry Henry. Inez Campbell Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut says, happy Monday, Sir Dervan and viewers. Happy Monday to you too, Inez Campbell Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Horace Watson says, good afternoon, Dervan. Please let me know why Haiti is always having disasters while the other half of the island, the Dominican Republic, DR, does not. Thanks in advance and be well. Well, much of it has to do with geography. Who asked that question again? That was Horace. Much of it has to do with geography. In fact, Time magazine did a feature on the seeming disparity when it comes to disasters impacting the island of Hispaniola, shared between the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Time magazine tells us that the mountains that lie across the island of Hispaniola can cut off Haiti's rainfall. The northeast trade winds, and so the rain, blow in the Dominican Republic's favor. Haiti's semi-arid climate makes cultivation more challenging. Another big problem in Haiti, deforestation, a major problem in Haiti, but not in the Dominican Republic. And that problem of deforestation has only served to exacerbate the situation. Other differences are a result of Hispaniola's long and often violent history. In fact, from as far back as 1965, Time magazine called it a forlorn, hate-filled little Caribbean island. That's how they referred to Haiti in 1965. Forlorn, hate-filled little island. On the eastern part of Hispaniola, you'll probably speak Spanish. In the west, it's more likely to be French or Creole, a division that's the result of centuries of European colonization and numerous power struggles, not to mention the decimation of Hispaniola's indigenous Taino people, who of course spoke none of those languages. And we could go back, but geography has something to do with it. The question from Horace Watson, geography has something to do with it. And remember the other day, after the earthquake, we spoke about the plantain garden fault line. It's properly referred to as the Enriquillo, E-N-R-I-K, I beg your pardon, E-N-R-I-Q-U-I-L-L-O. That's E-N-R-I-Q-U-I-L-L-O. It's Spanish, that's why it's pronounced Enriquillo. Enriquillo. The two Y's giving you that Y, the two L's, I beg your pardon, giving you that Y sound. Enriquillo. So it's the Enriquillo Plantain Garden Fault Zone. And it is a system of what are called, or what is well, let's take the break and come back with more in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. Vanities, sinks, baths, and showers. Cool bathroom ideas. We've got you covered. Finding style in every detail. Make your best home anything but ordinary. At Home and Things.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy,
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Where you may ask me a question, I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. This Wednesday, September 1, we continue the conversation with Tanisha Miller of the Early Childhood Commission on child abuse and methods of disciplining children. Also, learn more on how to keep your mind fit. And tune in for discussions with the National Council on Drug Abuse about the effects of cannabis on young people. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6th West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine. P.A. Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Bico Zinc Plus Syrup, distributed by Medical Disposables and Supplies, available in pharmacies island-wide. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, September 1 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Stands alone. Each man has a brother, and remember, each man's dream has your own. You can live in this world.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Cleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We were saying Haiti occupies the western part of Hispaniola and therefore finds itself in the middle of what is called the septentrional Orient Fault to the north of the island, and the Enriquillo Fault, which crosses the Tiburon Peninsula, and that's where Lake Cay, that's a city most affected by the August 14 earthquake, that's where it's located, and the south central area of the country where Port-au-Prince is located, the capital and the center of the devastation in 2010. And you could read on some more about it, but again, it comes back to geography, straight geography, as opposed to some other phenomena. Let's go to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a moment, please. I'm sorry. I neglected to go to Natalie, who is in Washington Gardens. She called us on the text line, which doubles as the WhatsApp number, and she has been holding for 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Hi, Natalie.
How are you doing, Dervan?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
So tell me something. I heard you got your job and all that stuff.
Yes.
It wasn't painful?
No, I didn't feel a thing.
Oh, okay. So what's the process like? You go up there, you sit and wait, long and boring?
Go up where? It depends on where you go.
Oh, okay. You have to wait long?
Not at all. The best place, and I hope I'm not jinxing them, but the best place, in my estimation, based on my experience, because I'm not the only one who has gone there. I've taken family members there as well.
Okay.
It's the Mona Aging and Wellness Center on the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies. You go there and you fill out a question sheet just so they know, to allow those the health professionals to know something about us before they administer the vaccine. So you fill that in, and then you are directed to a waiting area on the inside, and they administer the vaccine to a particular group. I didn't count, but maybe let's say a group of about 20 people or 25. And then once everybody is in that area and seated, some general information is given out, and then the doctor who is going to be administering the vaccines rolls a trolley or a dolly. Well, I think it's a trolley, and with any glue containing the doses, I would imagine, and goes around just advises that we pull up our shirt or blouse sleeve. They for the arm of the arm that is not our favored arm. So if we're left-handed, then we should take it on the right. If we're right-handed, we take it on the left. Right. And once that is administered, I mean, it's as I said, I didn't feel a thing. And once that is administered, you get a bit of cotton and hold it on to the area where you received the jab, and you hold that for a while, and you're supposed to remain seated, because all this would have been done while you're seated. Remain seated for observation for at least 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
And once the health professionals are satisfied, looking around, surveying the room, just checking if anybody is having any issues. Once that is clear, then you're pretty much good to go. That's it.
Okay, that's it.
Mm-hmm. You're given your vaccination card before you leave, though.
Okay.
With the information.
It sounds long and boring, but I guess we have to go through it.
Long and boring? No. I had a 9 o'clock appointment, and I was out of there before 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and nobody wasn't on the road when you went because it was a lockdown there, right?
When did I go again? No, I don't think did I go on a lockdown day? I don't think so. A regular Tuesday, actually.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dervan, it's boring in Washington Gardens here because it's a lockdown day. And I'm just listening to you to hear the information that you're giving and to hear the highs and the hellos and the greetings from your callers. So I'm still listening.
Happy to know that you're still with us.
Okay.
Thank you for the call. Mm-hmm.
See you.
All right. Take care, Natalie. All the best.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Natalie in Washington Gardens, connecting with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Now to the caller online. Hello. Sorry about that. Thanks for your patience. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Dervan.
Afternoon, and apologies for the last time you were on. We had back-to-back interviews and didn't get around to calling you back. Time constraints and all, but thank you for your understanding.
Thank you very much as well, Dervan. Good afternoon to your listeners here and abroad. I hope that you had an excellent and restful weekend.
Well, there's always something to do, but we try to rest nonetheless.
Yes, I listened to your very interesting program on Saturday morning, and I must say that I heard from the very many persons speaking to you on the various topics. It was most interesting and incisive. I appreciate that program on Saturday morning, which you have, speaking to many persons within the diaspora. I was speaking on the topic last week, the COVID-19 support, and the fact that the opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, is calling upon the government to do much more in assisting the poor, sick, elderly, and those persons who have lost their jobs since the COVID-19 virus came to Jamaica. He stated that the assistance so far that has been given by the government has not been successful, and they did not use the various mechanisms available to reach those many persons across Jamaica that are in need of support. A Capri study was done, Dervan, which showed that the majority of the persons who were most vulnerable did not in fact benefit from the care program for a number of reasons. And some of the reasons has to do with structural reasons, persons not having government IDs, persons not having bank accounts, etc. And I think that Mr. Julian Robinson made a very important recommendation to the government in that they are currently running quite a significant surplus. It has to do with very good fiscal management and overall an excellent leadership performance coming from the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, and I give commendations to them. Things could have been much more worse within the Jamaican economy. But I think there is a need, as Mr. Robinson said, to use some of that surplus fund to help those persons who are in need. And I would want to think, or I think that the Constituency Development Fund, the PATH program, and the Poor Relief Scheme are areas through which the allocations could come through. And I think that no less than $1.5 billion should be allocated to assist the persons that are in need across the country that have not gotten any assistance so far since the COVID-19 virus came to Jamaica. And I am urging the Minister of Finance to use some of that surplus fund and see how best it can be distributed across the country in a transparent and accountable manner. Because I cannot be satisfied that the government is running quite a significant surplus and persons are in much need across the country.
One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock.
Exporters, have you heard? Certificates of origin are now online. Starting August 23, 2021, all exporters requiring a certificate of origin from the Trade Board Limited must submit their application using the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-SWIFT. All locally manufactured goods and agricultural produce for export must have an authorized certificate of origin in order to access and obtain preferential treatment in other territories and markets. Traders, your benefits include greater convenience and faster processing time, online application, payment and approval, online access to the approved certificate of origin, and a system-generated CARICOM invoice. For more details, contact J-SWIFT at info@jswift.gov.jm. Jamaica Single Window for Trade. J-SWIFT, your window to trade.
The Ministry of Labor and Social Security is advising the public that its St. James Parish office will be relocated to its original home at 4 Sam Sharp Square, Montego Bay, effective Wednesday, September 1. The telephone numbers and email addresses will remain the same. The ministry apologizes for the inconvenience this may cause and looks forward to serving you even better. It's not just the vehicles nor the competitive prices. It's about the experience. It's the joy you get from knowing you're conducting business or vacationing in a safe, comfortable, and convenient way. Karen Car Rental and Tours provides pickups and drop-offs with a well-trained chauffeur. Karen Car Rental and Tours, 14C Cargill Avenue, Kingston, and Lot 36 Bustamante Highway, Mapen, Clarendon. Call 876-613-3074, 754-2023, or 578-2178. Karen Car Rental and Tours.
Stands alone. Treat each man as your brother. And remember, each man's dream as your own. Now we need one another.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:02. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:02. 现在 TDN 了4点02分. 2 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thanks for holding. You were saying persons in much need across the country. That's where we left it going to the break.
Yes, there are many persons across the country, Dervan, who have not received any form of assistance thus far from the government. So it would seem to me that they require the help, and the funds that can assist them can be withdrawn, not the entire amount from the fiscal surplus that the government is currently running, but some funds can be withdrawn from that surplus to assist the Jamaican people. I am getting many complaints from many persons. So I do hope that the government will act. And I must say as well, Dervan, before I go to the other point, I think that the government needs to consider seriously removing or postponing the duty on tablets and laptops, possibly for a period of 3 to 4 months. Suspend the duty on them, and they should allow more persons to purchase them. That would result in a reduction of prices because, as you know, they're still quite expensive for some persons.
Yes, that suggestion has been made a long time ago, or was made a long time ago. It has been doing the rounds for quite a few years in this country, which means before COVID-19, that subject came up and that suggestion was put forward, but nobody is budging, it seems.
Well, let us hope that on this occasion, the government will act because I think it's very important. The other issue, Dervan, the issue of constitutional reform.
That's another one. That's another one that's been doing the rounds for years in this country, and we're still at the same place.
Yes.
Mm.
And it is my view that the time is long past.
Mind you, some work was done with respect to I think it's chapter 3 of the Constitution.
Yes.
Yeah, but outside of that, it's just been talk. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. The issue of constitutional reform, I think some firm action needs to be taken by this administration. As you and your many listeners will remember or recall that some time ago, then opposition leader Andrew Holness had made a firm and fervent promise to this country that if the Labour Party was elected to government, that he would address this matter structurally and allow for a referendum to be had. A two-term limit for all serving prime ministers, I think, should be implemented, Dervan. Jamaica needs an impeachment law. I think we have reached a point in our history where the Queen needs to be abolished as Jamaica's head of state and a Republican, a president be appointed as head of state in Jamaica. There needs to be job description. This would not be necessarily, I think, for constitutional reform, but there definitely needs to be a job description for all members of parliament. I think also that all senators appointed both from the opposition and the government side should be paid a salary, including the president of the Senate and the deputy president of the Senate. And also, it is my view, and I will say it now without fear, that the gentleman from Westmoreland, the member of parliament, who it is alleged was involved in that altercation with that lady and was captured on video. Based on all that has transpired, Dervan, if we have a responsible and respectful parliament where the citizens respect who sits within parliament, both in the lower and the upper house, it is my view, without apologies, that that gentleman should resign. I do not see how he can continue to stand or to sit in parliament after allegedly being accused of what we have seen on the video. I think his tenure should be brought to an end, and I hope that he resigns. He has been reported in the media to have married that young lady. That does not matter. What he allegedly done is unacceptable. It is scandalous, and it is wrong. And if we expect the young persons in Jamaica to respect and look upon the parliamentarians, then I think that we have to ensure that they maintain a much more higher level of conduct than what we saw with that gentleman.
No doubt if his lawyer is listening or any other member of the legal profession, they'll remind us of the presumption of innocence until proven otherwise. And they will also direct our attention to the inadequacy of the video footage. And notwithstanding other information with respect to who visited a police station, when, etc.
Yes, and that is why I use the term allegedly.
I recognize that, yes.
Yes. When we take a look, Dervan, every occasion that the salary left parliament.
Well, just to make the point, as we just to tie make the make it clear that they're invariably, those of us who occupy certain positions there are times when what we would have done allegedly or knowingly, that it might very well not rise to the level where it warrants some kind of legal action, or it doesn't rise to the level where it is where the law can be brought to bear on the particular matter.
Yes.
However, there is the matter of morality, and one owns one's own sense of right and wrong, and doing the right thing, even if that means incriminating oneself, because that's one of the reasons why this case, this situation, has not gone any further.
Yes.
Because the individual would have to, on the face of it, incriminate himself, and the law apparently provides for one not doing that. But having said that, the bigger issue is one's own sense of morality and just doing what is right. But one can also obviously decide to rest on the legal laurels and not say a word, and life goes on. And that in and of itself, whatever we do as individuals or fail to do, gives some insight into who we are and what we stand for. So either way, one's character, one's image, one's position is I don't want to use the word compromised, but it will take a battering. Will take a battering, especially with all that is out there in terms of information, except that the information doesn't rise to the level that would lead to other actions, and also that those involved, the individuals involved, have not taken certain steps, which would then lead to taking this matter forward.
Yes. Let me say this, that I am not here now referring specifically to Mr. Wright, but generally speaking, it's very important for our parliamentarians, for us to have the highest respect for them and for their integrity and character to be always at a very high level.
And you're perfectly correct. That's how it should be. Yes.
Yes. The issue of the parliamentarian salary, Dervan, the Prime Minister earns $7.3 million per year plus benefits. The Leader of the Opposition, $6.4 million per annum. The Finance Minister, $5.9 million. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, $5.5 million. The Deputy Speaker, $4.1 million. The Cabinet Ministers, $5.8 million. Junior ministers, who are referred to as state ministers, $4.8 million. And all other MPs, $3.5 million.
I'll allow you to complete the point after the break, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
Hey, you see, these days, it's good to get straight to the point. Quick and easy. That's why Western Union gives you another way to receive money straight to your bank account with Western Union's direct-to-bank money transfer. Visit a Western Union agent location and sign up now. And tell your family and friends to send your next Western Union money transfer directly to your bank account in Jamaica. It's easy. Visit a Western Union location or call our call center at 876-926-2454. Sign up today to receive a money transfer directly to your bank account with ease with Western Union. Moving money for better.
The following is a public service announcement from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The Ministry of Health and Wellness invites members of the public to attend a vaccination site between Monday, August 30 and Tuesday, August 31. Please visit vaccination.moh.gov.jm or social media for details on location, opening hours, and vaccine type. Monday, August 30, Kingston and St. Andrew National Arena, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Manchester, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Manchester High School, Porus High School, and Mandeville Regional Hospital. St. Elizabeth, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Santa Cruz Health Center, Newell Health Center, Junction Health Center, and Black River Health Center. Clarendon, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Summerfield Community Center and Denby Primary School. Tuesday, August 31, Kingston and St. Andrew National Arena, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Manchester, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Manchester High School, Christiana Health Center, Mile Gully Health Center, and Mandeville Regional Hospital. St. Elizabeth, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Santa Cruz Health Center, Great Bay Town Square Cultural Center, Treasure Beach, Junction Health Center, and Black River Health Center. Clarendon, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Lionel Town Health Center, Summerfield Community Center, and Denby Primary School. Persons should take their school ID, child's birth certificate, a government-issued identification, or a letter from a justice of the peace to the sites. Let's get vaccinated and get back to life.
Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month at 6:30 a.m. for the feature Smart Farming. Smart Farming will focus on solutions for farmers such as land, animal husbandry, agronomy, and more. That's Smart Farming every second and third Tuesday, 6:30 a.m. during Farm Talk, only on Power 106 FM. Smart Farming is sponsored by HiPro. Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. This Wednesday, September 1, we continue the conversation with Tanisha Miller of the Early Childhood Commission on child abuse and methods of disciplining children. Also learn more on how to keep your mind fit. And tune in for discussions with the National Council on Drug Abuse about the effects of cannabis on young people. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Bico Zinc Plus Syrup, distributed by Medical Disposables and Supplies, available in pharmacies island-wide. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, September 1 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Lord, teach me as your brother, and remember each man's dream as your own.
Que hora es en español? Son las 4:18. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:19. 现在地点了4点19分. Well, it started out at 18 minutes past 4. It's now 19 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Yes, young people, we know you're still on summer break, and it seems it might be extended to some extent, depending on, well, based on all that's happening with respect to COVID-19. For what it's worth, young people, just remember that even when school is out, or even though school is out, homework is always in, because homework is about preparation, and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Thanks for holding on the subject of parliamentary salaries.
Thank you very much, Dervan. Most obliged to. In concluding, those figures that I outlined are in addition to benefits that they receive. But I must say that if this country expects the executive and the members of parliament to perform and perform at a very high level, if we expect the cabinet ministers who have been appointed, who have left their professions to dedicate fully and comprehensively time and energy to serve this country, then the salaries that they are being paid now is unacceptable, intolerable, and cannot be allowed to continue. At the very least, Dervan, it is my view that the Prime Minister should be paid no less than $40 million per year. And at the very least, the members of Parliament should be paid no less than $10 million per year. And it would seem to me that if this country is not willing to understand that we need to pay them well, and what they are being paid now is totally unacceptable, then I do not see how we can demand fervently every day for them to perform, because the salaries that I have outlined to you and your listeners, Dervan, they are barely surviving. Can you imagine, Dervan, the Prime Minister of this country is earning a mere $7.3 million per year plus benefits? How can we, a respectful country, be paying our Prime Minister $7.3 million per year? And every time that the issue comes up for debate in Parliament, there are concerns being raised by many persons within the Jamaican society that the country cannot afford to pay them well. If we cannot afford to pay them well, we are not going to be able to demand a high level of service from them, in my view.
Well, on what basis have you arrived at those figures? For those figures you think should form the basis of the salaries of those individuals?
I am taking a look at what is paid by certain categories of persons within the private sector, certain heads of companies, and certain middle management managers.
What about those who argue for performance-based pay?
No. I do not.
As opposed to just paying some exorbitant, relatively speaking, exorbitant sum.
How would that be practically worked out? Do you know of any other country which has performance-based salaries for its Prime Minister and the executive?
I have never looked into that.
Right. But I think, Dervan, if we expect to have a high level of performance from the Prime Minister and from the Cabinet and from the junior ministers, then we need to begin to pay them well. Because if each time where the matter is raised, there's an outcry that the country cannot afford to pay them anymore, then why are we demanding a high level of performance from them? They're leaving their professional jobs, Dervan.
What about
the cabinet?
What about a sense of patriotism, taking what you would consider an ordinary salary on the basis that one is making a contribution to nation building, and therefore will not frown upon a small sum, but recognizing that one is acting in the nation's best interest and giving of himself or herself in the name of Jamaica, land we love. What about that?
I would respond by saying that they have families and they have their family needs, and we are expecting for them yes, to be patriotic politicians and to serve at a high level, but in a practical manner, within a practical framework. Those persons have their families, and their families have needs, and their children, and they have expenses just as other persons. And the high level of responsibilities and duties that they have is quite wide-ranging, and therefore it is important for them to be compensated for what they're doing in an honest way, I would think.
And you think there's a correlation with paying people more, in this case, paying the members of the political directorate more, and that will necessarily mean automatically a higher level of performance?
It won't be automatic, but it will encourage them greatly to perform at a higher level. And when the citizens demand that they perform, they would have recognized and appreciated that they are being paid somewhat for their services and that they are being compensated in a fair manner, and they are not serving meaninglessly.
We hear you. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on today's edition of Both Sides of the Story.
Thank you very much, Dervan. Have a pleasant evening to you and to your many listeners. Most obliged always to you.
Thank you. Many happy returns. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Dr. Trevor Dixon, the founder of the Jaja Foundation, based in New Jersey, says he wants to thank everyone who contributed to making the fundraising cruise a huge success. And that fundraising cruise took place on Saturday afternoon into evening in New York. Hello to Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, Enna Francis. Thank you for tuning in. Patricia Barnes indicating that she was dancing to the music earlier on. And Violet White went away for a while and came back to rejoin us online. Thank you, Violet White. Rose McIntosh in London says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan. To you too, Rose McIntosh. Anne Ramsey, happy week to you. Thank you. Suzette Hayden, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. The listener who goes by the moniker Straight Shooter says, people should be in prison, should not be paid by the public. People should be in prison, should not be paid a cent by the public. Lisa Kmar says, that's all the Prime Minister gets paid? Are you sure that is correct? That's nothing. A lot of private sector workers are getting way more than that. $7 million to run a country. Well, it's when you add the benefits, it for what it's. I think by now, I'm not sure whether those are the current figures, but I recall maybe a few years ago, it was pretty close to 10 million, between 8 and 10 million, somewhere thereabout. Yeah, those are the most recent numbers, I believe. Let's take the break and come back with more in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
But wait, look at this, Vincent.
What no?
Look on the paper how it little bit and wrinkly like marble. This can't fail.
Most of the old mite them we cause it, them attack the leaves of the plant, so the fruit can't get to grow proper.
So what the other farmers can use so the pepper them come big and pretty like your own?
Well, is new mectin what we use still, you know. What eco-friendly biological pesticide. With this product, the mite them can't touch my field.
For real?
Yeah, man. It's environmentally friendly. It deal with the mite them proper, and it don't leave no residue after application. It good for the crop. It good for the environment. And guess what? It good for my pocket too.
Me, I go spread the word about this product to the rest of the farmers. New make thing, you say?
Yeah, man. Get your eco-friendly Numecting pesticide at your local hyper dealer today.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy, you know.
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, you may ask me a question. I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM. It's riveting, thought-provoking, and interesting. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Quarry on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Sanjay Lewis on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while they alternate on Fridays, as they set your agenda and break down the issues, and keep you informed on what matters to you most. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. only on Power 106 FM.
By yourself, you're gonna wake up and find you're gonna meet somebody else. No means my love.
Que ahora es en español, son las 5 menos 28, que le retire en français, les 5 heures moins 28. Hiện tại, TDN le Wu Dien Cha Archer Ba Fen. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
I'm good.
Good.
You know, like the program say, all views should contain.
Hello?
You're hearing me?
Clearly, yes.
I said, like the program say, all views should contain.
Yes, we heard you the first time, yes.
Yeah, but the previous caller,
Uh-huh.
I think he's a bit utopian. Because what price can you pay for integrity?
Priceless.
Come on, man. So everything should be relative. I know people who barely had a cup of porridge since the lockdown. Are you talking about the Prime Minister's salary? The Prime Minister's salary should depend on the economy.
Yeah, well, essentially in countries with countries experiencing a steady economic growth or very good economic performance,
yes.
People hardly ever haggle about salaries.
Yes.
However, when you're in an environment, in a country where you are far from achieving that level of consistent economic performance, then
Yes.
people think twice and question any talk of increased remuneration for those managing the affairs of the country.
You know, honestly, they're supposed to. Because if you're dealing with merit, because he's talking about the Prime Minister family, what about the rest of the family? That's underpaid and unrepresented in terms of union. Well, yeah, because the Prime Minister is not even allowing the laws of the land to be observed by investors. So what is he saying? They want him to be more, to be less accountable? If you don't give him more to receive, is less? What is he really saying? Did he really think?
Yeah, well, he has put his position on the table, and we're happy you're able to raise questions and make your position just as clear.
We rapidly become a country like the tale of two cities, where it's only the lawyers is getting benefit. The lawyers.
Well, I have no reason to be picking on the lawyers in particular, but
I'm not saying the lawyers per se. I'm saying the people who are just loyal cronies.
Oh, lawyer. Oh, you mean loyalists?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, well, those come in different forms, shapes, types, ages, etc. Those are all over.
Yes, because the case, so I see it. People just liking who they love. They just loving who they like, and that's easy, because that's like next door. Nobody's coming to themselves to make a sacrifice to help someone who really need it.
Yeah, well, wherever our loyalty lie, or collective loyalties, wherever our collective loyalties lie, let's be clear that we are part of what is supposed to be a democracy, and we're supposed to hold our leaders accountable, hold their feet to the fire, and when they give commitments or promises, follow up and insist, etc. And so that's how we're expected to function. And that's how we should function. As Bob Marley said, I don't care who the guy is.
Yes.
If something is wrong, it is wrong. If it is right, it's right. If people are dissatisfied with a particular policy direction or policy decision, people must let their voices be heard.
Because, for example, the governor of the bank the other day said the lockdown would not affect the economy. How could he say something so erroneous and people don't even question? How could he say that?
Well, I wondered about it when I heard it. Is it that he said it is not going to affect, or it would be minimum? The impact would be minimum.
It's not going to affect it.
Yeah. It sounded unbelievable when I heard it, actually.
And you're going to reward people who propagating those type of thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, man. So the thing now is, this is where the fourth estate can help us by then following up with the governor having made such a statement.
But under the establishment of the governor and the new central bank, independent central bank, the governor should be brought before Parliament to explain the processes enough, but nobody's doing that. And nobody's holding him to the fire.
Well, that's where the parliamentarians come in now, and this is where they should demonstrate to the people that they are in fact paying attention to these pronouncements and these actions, and they would then take whatever steps necessary to get the governor of the Bank of Jamaica to sit before Parliament and explain himself.
Well, you know something, too? I think if the PNP had any sense, they'd walk out until the governor comes to Parliament to explain the economics. Because
but not walk out yet. Not yet. Why not? They still have members of Parliament. They have a few members of Parliament. Why not? Why not be the ones to initiate, or to insist, or to agitate for that kind of accountability?
All right, because you know something. What I'm sensing and overhearing in some conversation in the streets, people actually thinking they're aligned with the government when it comes to the financing.
In terms of general policy direction, maybe the thinking is there is no significant difference between the economic policies of both major political parties
then
in
sir,
the country.
It begs the question then. If the economy is going to be driven, the growth, everything depends on economic prospects. What are we saying? Because as it is now, it's not enough. And they got no alternative. What are we saying? We'll be running on tires that need more air?
No, well, they hope at this stage, and we do have an independent central bank governor, is that the independent central bank governor will demonstrate that that he has the capacity and the competence and that his approach should demonstrate that he's discerning. He has an idea of what's happening or not happening, has a vision of where we need to get to, etc. And all of that should come out not only in his utterances or his pronouncements, but also his actions.
Well, is of things?
They?
I'm saying, is he actualizing the things that should be done now?
Well, it's debatable. It's debatable. There are those who argue that we need no better examples than other countries in the world. Mind you, every country is different, but the policy direction in a time such as this is usually to try and keep things moving or get things moving or don't cause things to slow down too much or any at all. Yes. And therefore implement policies that will have that kind of effect. Now, clearly, based on what we have seen and experienced, the finance minister is a conservative individual, it seems, based on how he has comported himself thus far, or acquitted himself thus far. He seems to be more on the conservative side, playing it safe, not wanting to cause the numbers to go too far out of whack, etc., in an accounting way. Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. If he's so in control or capable, why was he having second thoughts and getting the drawdown at the loan from the World Bank? When we're in such a crisis with health, we need doctors, we need health workers, with nurses not getting paid.
Maybe the thinking is that symbolically or otherwise, or in reality, that would create an impression that Jamaica is in a desperate state or a dire straits, or not able to on its own steam, to run on its own steam, and still needing this.
Dervan,
yes.
You know, I've always seen some level of symbolism as a mild form of deception.
Oh, I've never heard it put that way before. A mild form of deception.
Yes. Philosophically, you look at it. Symbolism. The man could come out like he's wearing a pants of less value than yours. But he'll be doing something behind the scene. So he coming out like that doesn't say he's tightening his belt. Politics is sophisticated enough.
It is?
Politics is not for the ignorant. Politics.
Yeah. Well, in the final analysis, the leaders must lead and must also be prepared to deal with the consequences of their leadership, one way or another.
Well, leaders should always know that the maximum of the effort should be felt by maximum of the people. It shouldn't be just the followers of the party or people who are going to keep you in place, because the majority is disillusioned. So you're going to keep that little clique. That's enough to enable you, to get you over the line.
Oops,
That's
look at
enough.
the time. Hold it, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Living in the positive.
Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. to midday for your legal corner with Dahlia Walker Huntington during Power Talk on Power 106 FM. You can call our numbers 876-922-4112 The text and WhatsApp line is 876-279-8598. You can also send an email at yourlegalcorner106@gmail.com. Join Your Legal Corner for all matters in relation to immigration to the United States. Here Dahlia offer great legal advice on your immigration queries and concerns. Learn about the filing process, when to file, and how to prepare for the move. That's Your Legal Corner, 11:30 to midday, every Thursday right here on Power 106 FM.
It's riveting, thought-provoking, and interesting. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Quarry on Mondays and Tuesdays and Sanjay Lewis on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while they alternate on Fridays as they set your agenda and break down the issues and keep you informed on what matters to you most. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. only on Power 106 FM.
It's young, it's fresh, it's worldviews from a youth perspective. It's Gen Z, navigating the ups and downs of everyday life. Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Power 106 FM.
Each man's dream.
Que ahora es en espagnol, son las 5:13, que la retile en français, les 5:13. Tiens, tidien le, ou dien cha shir san fen, 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? I think we know the answer to that, don't we? Thanks for holding.
Yes, Dervan.
Yes.
In closing, somebody the pronouncement about the government is good. And like I heard one moderator say, I wouldn't be like to be a government now, because it's not easy.
It's never easy, but even
now,
more so now.
But at the same token,
yes,
since we can't use the same thought process that got us here to get us out, it's different time. We have to employ a different thought process. It's obvious.
True. A level of creative thinking.
Yes. So where is it?
Yes. And
I think, all right, in closing,
yes,
this is a good intention that I hear.
Yes.
It's trapped in expression. I hope they would free them with their deeds. Because too much are speaking to the ears. Speak to the eyes now. Let us see something.
Yes.
Real.
Show me your emotion.
Yes. Hasta luego.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Hello to Damian Mitchell. Is that our Damian Mitchell? Integration editor. The award-winning Damian Mitchell, I believe so. Good afternoon, Damian Mitchell. Good to see you online. And Cheroz Richards says, love and light. Love and light to you too, Cheroz Mitchell. Cheroz, that's an original. That's well, first time I'm coming across such a name. Cheroz, Cheroze. It could be a share from the French, which means dear, dear, D-E-A-R, dear and darling, chérie, and rose. Yeah, nice combination. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We've been neglecting those, oh goodness, those on WhatsApp and also our text line. Some messages here. Wingy from Retreat, Brownstown, St. Anne says, I'm home. I'm okay. Wingy, Brownstown, Retreat, Brownstown, St. Anne. Good to know, Wingy. Michael in St. Anne's Bay says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm thinking that trucks carrying medical oxygen should be fitted with sirens and also be classified as emergency vehicles. In the meantime, they should be given police escorts to maneuver heavy traffic in each town. From Michael in St. Anne's Bay. That's an excellent idea, Michael in St. Anne's Bay, especially at a time such as this. Patriotic Jamaican in New York says, I've been seeking some explanation about this issue, but without success. I've been listening to this public service ad, read the locations of vaccination centers throughout the island. I've noticed, to my dismay, that Westmoreland, which is one of our bigger parishes and the current epicenter for COVID, has been allocated only 2 centers, while other smaller parishes have 4, 6, 8, 12 centers. My question is, what's the criteria used to determine the number and locations of these centers? On the face of it, it looks quite strange and senseless. Is it an oversight? Is it incompetence? Or just a lack of concern for the people of Westmoreland? Or it's just my own lack of understanding of the way these things work? I wish someone could supply some answers. Well, we would like to think, Patriotic Jamaican in New York, that the Ministry of Health and Wellness would have a team of would work with a team of logisticians to make decisions that will cause a smooth flow or lead to a smooth flow in operations and maximizing the impact of the vaccination blitz. Crocs in Black River says, greetings. Why is there no outrage or blame being showered on this government by the media and civil society for their incompetence and failure in handling the COVID pandemic? Until the media and civil society crawl on their knees and apologize to and beg for the forgiveness of Dr. Fenton Ferguson, the blight of COVID will never leave us. From Crocs in Black River. Thank you very much, Crocs in Black River, for your message. One would like to think, perhaps, since you're wondering out loud, perhaps under the circumstances, there's a thinking that says, let's do all we can as a people to fight COVID-19. In other words, a recognition that COVID-19 is the enemy, an unseen enemy, and that we should concentrate our efforts on fighting COVID-19, which would need all hands on deck. Now, that is not to say that everybody is going to go hand in glove, as they say, or hands in gloves, however they say it, or do it, wholesale, without being skeptical, without questioning decisions. The Dr. Guy still does it, Crocs in Black River. He's standing on sound foundation. He's a medical doctor, and so that gives him some leverage and indeed credibility, speaking, yes, as the opposition spokesman on health, but also a doctor, a medical doctor in his own right. And so he has been expressing himself quite loudly. The president, Dr. Andrew Manning, has been expressing himself loudly. The Nurses Association of Jamaica president, Miss Fitzhenley, has also been, Mindy Fitzhenley has also been quite vocal. I can think of Dr. Winston Davidson, Dr. Peter Figueroa, who has served Jamaica under both administrations, and Dr. Alverston Bailey, and there are others, Dr. Michael Abrams, different individuals at different times within the profession for the most part, and outside the profession to some extent. A lot of the people's positions and thoughts and expressions are all over social media for those who follow social media, but they're also on the talk shows. They call this talk shows, and they say they don't think, for example, lockdowns work because it's the most vulnerable in the society that suffers, and people were very strong in talking out against that event, Mocha Fest, and hitting out and expressing outrage, and the same thing for Dream Weekend, notwithstanding the fact that they would have applied and gone through the process, etc. So it is. I will never buy into the narrative, Crocs in Black River, that our people are just docile and just taking their licks and not speaking up or not speaking out. Perhaps you can always debate whether we do that consistently enough, or maybe with the kind of fervor that you would consider to be appropriate, etc. But people being silent, or people people giving the government a pass, I don't think so. I don't think so, Crocs in Black River. But you keep up your advocacy. All the best. Thanks for your message. HJ in St. Catherine says, good afternoon, teacher. Interesting, you said we should take the jab on the lease. Not that I said it. It's what the health professionals say. It's not me. It's not me. They say you must take the jab in the arm that you of the hand that you don't use for your writing and so on. In other words, if you're left-handed, then you take the jab in your right arm. If you're right-handed, you take it in the left. That's what the health professionals said. Right. Anyway, I took mine, and I was never so advised by any of the two different nurses who administered to me. Are there any plans to cater for the shut-ins? Yes, I think I've heard that, in particular coming from the municipal corporations. Where's the rest of the message? Shut in. There are those who are willing to take it, but face challenges such as transportation and improper seating. That's one of the things we have been talking about over the last few weeks, that a greater effort should be made to take the vaccination to the people instead of expecting people, some of whom don't have the resources, bus fare, taxi fare, etc., to travel to wherever. And we have been told by the health ministry that that's where they are right now. The message goes on. Sometimes the available dates make transportation affordability very challenging. Exactly, because like on a day like this, when regular transportation is not running, it's right. We'll have to leave it there. We'll perhaps read the other messages tomorrow. And apologies to Glenn. Sorry we weren't able to get you in, but we had been neglecting those on WhatsApp, and we had to get in some of those WhatsApp messages. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 30th of August, 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.
And now,
Noon, I'm Deidran Gordon. Coming up in the news segment of Beyond the Headlines, today, Monday, August 30, 2021. Ministry of Health accused of not properly planning for increased demand for COVID-19 vaccines. Shortage of medical oxygen at public hospitals gradually easing. South African scientists identify new coronavirus variant with a concerning number of mutations. Police searching for 3 prisoners who escaped from the Port Royal lockup this morning. In business news, Wisynco Group reports increased profit but marginal decline in revenues. The Now the details of the news on Radio Jamaica 94 FM and online at Radio Jamaica